Congratulations, Naveen Garu, for the remarkable achievement. This is the first time for the Karimnagar branch to find a place in the CA final toppers list. Naveen, you made us proud. I suggest the participants to read the ebook Strategic Roadmap for CA Firms to Operate as Virtual Firms, published by the Committee for Members in Practice in January 2021. Last but not the least, in this grave situation arising due to pandemic, I request all the members to stay at home and have an emotional touch with your friends, family, relatives, especially old age adults who are away from children. They need emotional touch. And your staff and their family members. Keep an eye on the needs of the society and try to fulfill your individual social responsibility. I hope this session will pave way for more virtual CA firms to evolve and more professional opportunities for members of Karimnagar and Warangal districts. Thank you. Thanks, Harikrishna Garu, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all the members and my committee members, Warangal and Karimnagar branch committee members. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya Garu. Now I invite Warangal branch chairman C. Ravi Kumar Garu to give his opening remarks. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I think today's virtual seminar is we decided in right time, right place. I think it is right time to have this type of seminar. We know how the corona is very dangerous in Telangana and Andhra, and going regularly to the office, attending office physically has become very difficult nowadays, and in future also it may be difficult. So virtual CA firm, I think it's a right idea, and today we have got a right speaker. I think this will help our fraternity, Warangal and Karimnagar fraternity. With this, I conclude my opening remarks because I am not feeling well. Closing remarks I will give.
Thank you, sir. So I think Naresh Chandra sir will be coming on a bit later.
Welcome, Chengal Reddy sir.
Yeah. Now I invite today's guest of honor, C. Chengal Reddy Garu, ex-officio member of Warangal branch and also regional council member of SARC of ICI. C. Chengal Reddy Garu, you give his speech. Sir, over to Chengal Reddy Garu.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, audible.
Today's chief guest, our central council members, C. Dayanivas Sharma ji, and our another regional council colleagues, C. Naresh Kelly sir, both the branch chairmen, Karimnagar branch chairman, C. Aditya, Ravi Kumar Garu, Warangal branch chairman, the secretary of Karimnagar, Anjaneyulu, secretary of Warangal branch, Hari Krishna, today's speaker, Narasimhan Garu, the managing committee members, past chairmen of both the branches, senior members, viewers of the today virtual program. A pleasant good evening to each one of you. Welcome to the virtual CPM meet on the journey to become a virtual CA firm. I think it is rightly chosen for today's discussion, which is more relevant for the chartered accountants. These unprecedented times, our ICI remains committed to take all necessary steps to ensure the knowledge sharing on the latest updates to our members and students. The onus of breaking the chain of COVID transmission rests upon all of us, and we should do everything within our capacity to protect our health, of our families, and the society at large. Keeping in mind the members' safety and convenience, both the branches are jointly together hosting this virtual webinar. We request the members to utilize this virtual mode to conduct the institute to learn and update your knowledge. We will do our best to provide and meet the expectation of the members. We CA firms primarily either work at office or at client locations, usually principals and the teams generally report to the offices every working day, unless if we go to directly to the client place or income tax offices, we regularly visit our office. But gradually, the visits to the tax departments have now reduced substantially. The income tax department has started e-assessments are moving towards faceless assessments. Even the GST started right from the inception as digital tax involving no paper and no visit to the department. A few years ago, work from home was unthinkable. Today, affordable technology and digital infrastructure have made it possible for even a very small firm to plan and work from home. With the low cost of the gadgets and lowest priced internet plans and the cloud-based softwares, tools to access to the desktop-based software remotely, cloud data storage, free video conferencing tools, all these have created a perfect environment to work virtually from home. At the age of physical books, vouchers, tax returns, bank payments are way behind us. Almost all regulatory filings are digital right now. So are tax payments also. A major part of the business community has moved to electronic accounting. Even courts are working on ambitious plans to start virtual hearing. The stakeholders around whom the practice is centered do not require any physical presence here in future. So as a CA firm has to use several software applications for accounting, TDS compliance, income tax compliance, GST compliance, GST return filing, etc. Hundreds of documents are generated in a day and day out. Work at a CA firm, tax calculations, filing acknowledgements, audit papers, etc. These documents are required to be stayed as per the regulatory requirements for several years, and their need may further arise after several years for assessment or litigations, etc. Keeping in view this, the today's speaker Narasimhan Garu will explain us how the CA firm can transform virtual mode, how the journey we have to start. I think none other than the other speaker, Narasimhan, will explain very lucidly. I think Dayani was the present Central Council member, chosen a right speaker for the two branches. The two branch chairmen coming together to host this program is a welcome move. My compliments to the both chairmen. My sincere thanks to the both chairmen for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable speech. Now I invite, we don't have still yet to come, sir. Naresh Chandra, sir. Yes, we have. Yes, sir. I welcome today's guest of honor, CA Naresh Chandra Jalli Garu, Regional Council member and ex officio of Karimnagar branch. Over to Naresh Chandra Jalli Garu. Thank you.
Please unmute.
Please unmute, sir.
Good evening to both the chairmen and also to the Central Council member Dayani Sharma, my colleague Changal Reddy, and all the members who have, and the speaker, and all the members who have registered for this program. Friends, I think today's topic is very interesting and important for all of us in terms of practice, and I'm sure the speaker would enlighten us with various details of networking. So the future, as I understand, is difficult, maybe as what I see and what we discuss at various levels. It is pretty tough for proprietary firms. I'm sure in long run, partnerships are only going to help. So I'm sure the details of discussion would help us to understand the nuances of this new line of activity. And I wish we have a great learning on this today's session. Thank you both the chairmen for giving the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable speech. We have today's chief guest, Central Council member, young and dynamic Central Council member, a technical person, highly technical person, CA Dayani Sharma Garu, Central Council member of ICI. Now I invite CA Dayanivas Sharma Garu to give his valuable speech.
Thank you,
Over to-
Hari.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. And respected chairmen of both the branch, with seniority, Ravi Kumar Garu, Namaskaram. Take care of your health, which is very important. So that is paramount critical factor, which you need to keep in view in the current situation. I'll pray for your good health and quick recovery also. And more importantly, Aditya, you have been coordinating with me on a continuous basis with multiple things. And I think this move to get both the branches together, I'm really happy and delighted, because in our Telangana, we have only 3 branches: Hyderabad, Warangal, Karimnagar. And when we come together, it makes whole lot of difference to make it feel, big and large. And both the secretaries, thank you very much for inviting me. And more importantly, Naresh bhai, always with you is a great pleasure to work with. And Chengal, you're always a dear friend, will continue to be the best friend who is available since my study time. So having all 3 of us here today, we are only missing one regional council member though, who is the SIRC vice chairman. But I think united, we actually do lot of things. And on record, I would like to take one appreciation on behalf of ICI. I want to see whether Narsimhan is joined.
Sir, he joined, sir. He joined, sir.
Joined. So
Yes,
if
sir.
he can switch on his screen and come forward, it will be a very important thing which I would like to say. The contribution which he made last year with regards to making this book available for most of the firm to make it virtual firm or a digital firm, or whichever word you want to use, is basically a biggest contribution from a young and dynamic chartered accountant like Narsimhan, who has always contributed on one shout to the institute. He was always available. So Narsimhan, thank you very much for adding value to our SMPs, which is very important. And even there is a lot of learning which I have gone through when this book was being made out. So Aditya and Ravi sir, I request you to kindly pull out that book and share it with all our members, which is very important. And today, the topic which has been taken is virtual firms. I just would like to correct a small thing. We cannot be virtual firms because the Constitution of India or Chartered Accountants Act doesn't allow to have virtual firms. Virtual firm means there's no office, nothing, and we have no address. But as per the Form 18, we should have an office address. So that is one of the most important change which we need to start with. So don't take it in any sense. I'm just sharing how words are being used differently. Now, the point is, when you're talking about virtual firms, yes, we are virtually working from multiple locations. We all are connected virtually. We are not, physically meeting. So this is one part which is very important. And the most important part which I would like to share is the digital firm. The digital firms are those firms which have adopted technology. And I request each one of you, please to kindly go and see the DCMM version 2 in the Digital Learning Hub, which is one of the most important approaches where you will start answering, and you will also be getting, if the answer is good, fantastic. If there is a negative, then you get to know how to approach for those particular things. And third part, which is from the digital firm to digital practice, which I would like to say is digital practice is going to be the way forward. When we are talking about the e-assessments, faceless assessments, the returns which are getting filed on the technology, you just go back and see almost all compliances across the board with the regulators have become digital. That means you have to do everything on the system. So that is becoming one of the most important part. And now what is the next step is, as chartered accountant firms, which we need to do is, we need to pull out all this information, do the data analytics and move forward, which will make you people more stronger in the cases of assessments and advisory to the clients. Now, what is happening is all the data, whether you talk about 26 AS, let me talk about in 26 AS one more thing. We were talking about the TDS part. Am I right? We were only talking about the TDS part. Now, there is a special agreement which is signed between the CBDT and SEBI, where all my transactions which are happening on the share, shares, purchase and sale is getting recorded in my 26 AS, and accordingly the classification is being given. So my point is we need to go little extra to understand what kind of data pulling which is happening, which is the most crucial thing. It is not at all a tough thing. Friends, I can tell you one thing is the kind of work we are doing, most of the large firms are not even able to think about. Now, the point is very simple from my point of view, is that, what is the difference? The large firms, large partners will only do a specific work, whereas our capability is more larger. I am telling you, our capabilities are more larger than a larger firm partner because we are all-rounders. That makes the whole difference for us, and we cannot forget our strength in a view of seeing some other person what they are doing. Don't use the jargons. Very simple. We all can move forward in a very constructive manner. And the most important part, there are 2-3 points which I would like to share with you today. First and the foremost thing, Sunday, which is coming Sunday, 10 to 1, please enroll yourself for that step-by-step ISA approach, systems audit approach. How we are going to discuss at length, question by question, answer by answer. Like, if I am a DISA qualified, what is my first step? How can I do work with my existing client? System audit, idi adi chappi em kaad babu. First and the foremost thing, what I can earn out of my thing is the agenda which we have put in this first set of learning experience, which is going to be Q&A. We are getting the CFO of Flipkart, who is going to talk about what kind of technology they are using and what is the expectation. That means if Flipkart is using, all our vendors who are actually operating will be using this. Number 2, we are going to talk about how you can align with different people. That is the most important part. And Aditya and Ravi sir, I request you humbly, please, I will love to come and talk on networking guidelines. It is a high time that our tier 2 cities get aligned with tier 1 cities. Today, everything, when you are telling that I want to be digital firm, that means all data is available digitally. And most important part is we have very limited chartered accountants in the country. Please understand, there are only 130,000 chartered accountants who are in practice, and every firm needs people. When you are going to equip your firm to retrieve the data and process in the system, that means you are capable enough to get connected with the large firm from Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, Chennai, wherever you talk about. Because people today require a lot of support. And unfortunately, in this pandemic, all the articles who have back to their village and town, that is actually going to add value to everyone. Please understand, use this opportunity to retain those people with you at that point in time. So networking guidelines is something which we need to really discuss about. And the third most important part, which I can really proudly say is, by the president, I have been made as a convener of a special group formed for financial and tax literacy. That means we are for the first time going to be outward looking. We are talking about salaried employees, how we need to train them. So, retired employees, housewives, businessmen, entrepreneurs. We are going to focus this time primarily on the financial and tax literacy. We are going to educate people. 1st July is the date which we have decided to launch our first move. That means all our clients and people who are there will have to be reached out and told about the importance of having chartered accountant to advise them on the entire structuring of their financial savings. At the end of the day, the topic which has been picked up of virtual firms is one of the best ones which is there. I can connect you easily with the networking guidelines whenever I come to ensure that this all connect happens very effectively. And very soon we are going to launch one beautiful chartered accountant site which you can list down what are your capabilities. Very soon, I cannot talk at this moment. Fortunately, again, I am part of that group. Very soon we are launching. It is completely ready, where you can say, Aditya, if you are sitting in Karimnagar, you will say, I'm sitting in Karimnagar. My best two expertise is in these two things. This is the type of firm which I have. Hari Krishna will actually type it and say that this is my capability. And any person who would like to go and search those chartered accountants, city-wise, experience-wise, industry-wise, or might be expertise-wise, all sorting can be done from that site, which is going to be coming soon. So I wish you all a great success. It is just a new beginning. I think you all have adopted during the bank audit and many such things you are already doing to retrieve data on cloud, or might be server and all those things, and implementing these things. It is going to be something very, very lucrative. But please don't miss out to extend this learning on first, which is from 10 to 1, with a cup of coffee or a mug of tea with some snacks around. So just listen to the discussions. It will give you a different perspective altogether, how our systems and how our opportunities can be converted into a better opportunity going forward. So I wish you a great learning experience. Thank you all for inviting me. I am really delighted to be here today in my own Telangana branches all put together. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We have with us today's speaker, Narasimhan sir. So, yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Hello, everybody. Namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Hello, Dayaji.
Fine, sir. Fine.
All of you. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I just got done with an ASSOCHAM meeting. The chairman was Amarjit Chopraji. We were talking about technology initiatives. So it just got a little delayed.
Yes, sir. No problem, sir. I'll introduce today's speaker, CA Narasimhan Elangovan. Is a futuristic, a GRC professional, keynote speaker, and partner of Ken & Co, Bangalore, India, and senior advisor to Crow Advisory Services LLP. His areas practice include data analytics, risk-based audits, or privacy, impact assessments, internal audits, information systems, assess assurance, internal financial controls, and SOX compliances, and SOC audits. In the past few years, he has also been advising in emerging areas of technology such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, and cybersecurity and big data. He has regularly spoken on these subject domains in the national and international forums. He has assisted a wide variety of entities from startups to large corporates in the fields of BFSI, telecom, retail, fintech startups, Airtel, e-commerce, government of foreign countries, and many of the other cross-functional organizations. He's a faculty of DISA, CISA, and courses on blockchain technology. He has authored more than 4 books for ICAI, KSCAA, etc. on technology. He's a regular speaker on technology at various national and international conferences of ICAI, ISACA, CII, FICC, etc. He has often addressed the ISACA international conferences, ICAI, Singapore, Doha, Nairobi, Singapore, Bahrain, and California. He has been identified as one of the top 10 influential consulting leaders 2020, an annual recognition for torchbearers in the consulting sphere by CEO Insights magazine. Now I invite a great speaker, today's eminent speaker, CA Narasimhan Elangovan. Over to speaker, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Just give me a minute. I'm just getting the logistics set right. I hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for inviting me. Thank you, Danivas ji. Thank you, the chairpersons of both these branches, for inviting me. The reality today is the world is moving at a much faster pace, at least in the technology front, than what we expected. A few years back, we thought technology will go a little slow. Things like automation, ordering food via app, all these things will take its own sweet time to happen. Whereas today, I'm sure all of us in our homes sitting safely, we are actually doing this. And that's the reality of life. And we'll have to move further on this. And look into our own firm, there's a lot of transition, a lot of changes which has happened. We ourselves are a little surprised if you look back 2 years back, oh, did I do something like this? Look back at your work paper 2 years back, or look back into certain new things, you yourself will be surprised. Hey, how did this happen? Or how on earth did I actually do this? But that's the way in which things are actually taking place. So you have to quickly, of course, bring you a perspective of what we wanted to discuss. Before that, a quick disclaimer, the views are personal, not of my organization. So what is it that I want to spend some time and discuss today? I'm going to predominantly focus on telling what exactly is a concept of a virtual firm and where are we heading into. When I use the word virtual firm, we are going to have a future where we are going to have work from anywhere. That's the reality, work from anywhere. Because we do not know when this COVID is the problem is going to be solved. Neither do we know that, how long this is going to take to, get all of us vaccinated and whatnot. We still have to keep our things moving. How is it that, the largest of the companies are able to survive? Because they've all gone digital. While I'm not saying that, every work which we do, digitization is 100% possible, there is definitely odds and events which we can consider. Okay. So the 4 things which I want to cover is A, today's reality. B is what is the roadmap for you to go into a virtual firm. And the third is how do I enhance productivity? That's very important, and that will be focusing on few tools and tips, etc. And how do I become future ready? What is it that I have to take it further? And this image, if you can notice on my screen, my dear friends, this is today's reality. Machines are learning, human beings are hooked. We are all lost in some or other way with our own style of work or work pressure, family pressure, or regular work, or perhaps even GST reconciliation. We are sort of, locked with that entire aspect. Have you started looking beyond it? If we haven't, it is high time we do it, because machines today are actually learning. And they're able to understand things much better, much faster, higher rate of accuracy. Correct? And this is a very, very interesting report by the World Economic Forum, Future of Jobs Survey 2020. In case you get time, please go and read this. It talks about multiple jobs which have potential and so those jobs which are going to lose its shine. And it says that in the next 3 to 4 years, jobs such as data entry clerks, accounting, bookkeeping, accountants, auditors, all these fellows are going to disappear. When all these guys are disappearing, that means what? The existing role, whatever they're doing, all these are going to become redundant, no longer in use. Why? Machines are going to take over. And when I use the word machines are going to take over, this means automated systems are going to get being used. On the other side, look at increasing demand. We're talking about newer jobs like data analyst, AI machine learning specialist, big data, digital transformation specialist, 0.7. These are all newer things which is actually coming up. Let's take this a little further. There's one more interesting study by Accenture, again along with World Economic Forum, and they said impact of technology by industry segment. And they said the most level of disruption is basically in the audit and accounting field, followed by the various other companies which you notice there. So these are all things which are going to, if you think that I'm frightening you, you can probably think it that way. But that's the reality. You'll have to move up the curve and go ahead. So the key thing which both of them are saying that, hey, Automation, digitization, all of these are something which is unavoidable. We need to get going. And if we don't do it, we are under serious trouble. Let's look into our own offices, the post-COVID era. I call this post-COVID era an era of digital epiphany, sudden realization. What is epiphany? Suddenly you realize that what somebody was telling is always the truth. It could be your parents, it could be your kids, or it could be your siblings, it could be your teachers, correct? We're talking about an era of automation. Everything people are saying, invest in technology, but where do we go? How do we get started? Of course, we're going to speak about all of those. How do I use technology to improvise my effectiveness? What all can I do? How has digitization and technology impacted our profession? How are we perceiving it? Let's also understand accounting firms such as ours should anticipate and get started with this technological revolution. Okay, and COVID, thanks to it, has made us realize amongst the lot of negativity, I see some bit of element of positivity, and that has made us realize the power of technology. So question is, how do I get started? Correct? So let's look into a few questions, and over a point of time, we'll slowly start addressing one after the other. Let's look into our own offices. Assessments have got electronic. We are talking about so many cloud-based applications. We're talking about a culture of work from anywhere, anytime. We are having more pressure, less time to complete the job. High amount of regulatory expectations. And not to forget, we need to manage a lot of youngsters and next generation staff whose approach itself is totally different. Now you might say that, sir, 1 year I have not hired any article staff, but you can't say that you can survive with that forever. You need to have resources, you need to have people, correct? And eventually, what if, people are, if you look into the junior folks now, the way, if you tell them what is the objective, they're able to figure out newer ways to solve the problem rather than just going in the conventional approach. Of course, guidance is necessary. Of course, they may go wrong, but they're able to do something different. So these are things which are actually happening in and around us, surrounding us. So what is it that we can actually do further? What is my roadmap to become a virtual firm? What is my thought process? And this is where, if I have to get virtual, there are three very important things which I have to have. The first is the mind. The mind has to clearly say, hey, if I want to go digital, if I want to be virtual, this is what I need to get started. And most of the time, it fails in the first step itself. When I say it fails in the first step, it is because we thought of something big without knowing the expectation, or we didn't even know that things like this can be done. The second important thing is, who do I want to be as a firm? What are the services we want to deliver to the clients? Do I want to deliver every possible service? Then you yourself will become the biggest bottleneck. And this is where our networking guidelines and the firm guide, becoming a corporate form of practice makes a lot of sense. Come together, get together with people and say, this is the area which I will specialize. You specialize in this. Put out a simple matrix. Your client will be your client. My client will be my client. Client conversation, you only do, nobody stopping. Internally process, internal verification, whatever is taxation you do, whatever is indirect taxation somebody else does, and you decide how you want it. Now, what is this going to give? This is going to give us specialization. The world needs a lot of specialization today. No doubt generalists are necessary, but the world of specialization are increasing. Let's look on the other end. We will be in a position to solve all the requirements of the clients, within ourselves, because we have all those verticals. And based upon this, build a business model. Based upon this, see an improvisation. If you find that audit is too boring or audit is not your cup of tea, see whether can you collaborate, form a 3 people and just get started. Where the client will be you, the billing will still be you, decide a model. Whereas there should be a mutual give and take, and we will not gain unless we sacrifice. So those are all things which you should take care of. Let's look on the other side, the skill set. What are the skill sets our staff need? Have we equipped themselves with that? Or have we equipped ourselves with that? How do I make sure they obtain these? You know, now is a period of lockdown in many of these cities. So can I do something which can, which probably, you know, if I could probably put this thing, will train them and will get them better equipped. And there are lots of resources available. And the third very important thing is, how do I get people with the right skills? You know, people come and people leave my organization. If the interns come, they have a different expectation. If I have a paid assistant, they have a different set of. So that means the things are totally different. So you need to ensure the skill sets are also retained. And the third is the tool sets. What are the tools that we can use to leverage the strategy? Now, let me tell you, to answer each of this, the mind can be answered only by you. Of course, the thought process I'll be able to put into your mind. The skill is a collective effort of you, your firm, your partners, your colleagues, your juniors, your article staff, whatever. The tool set, there are plethora of tools available. Plethora of tools. If you look into just office automation software, you will get so many. The list is endless. You just look into CA office automation software, you'll get. So what are the key ingredients, or what is the thing which you'll have to focus when you're going to go forward? We have to have the presence or the thought process that we are going to be digitally existing and not physically. Instead of paying office rent, pay cloud server rents. Instead of paying admin salary, maid salary, whatnot, see whether can we do AMC cost and repairs. That is the fundamental makeshift. And this, my dear friends, will actually start triggering, oh, can I do things like this also? Next biggest question, which many of them often ask me, is why technology? And this, let me tell you, is the reality. It is necessary for efficiently tracking and scheduling work. It could be meetings, it could be webinars, it could be simple Excel sheets where you're writing all the work, or you're using an office management software. Firms are required to use technology to maintain contacts, database, sharing data with clients. You know, you can ensure that you can work from anywhere, improvisation of communication, the way in which you're presenting the work can become better. It can add as a marketing value, and more importantly, it can manage your time pressures. So given this context, what is my digital strategy, or what is my virtual strategy? And for this digital and virtual strategy, my simple thought process is 5 key things, 5 broad key things. What are they? First is the leadership. We as professionals, we as chartered accountants have to take that measure that we are going to be a digital firm, we're going to be a virtual firm. We are going to operate everything out of home, but still have a control. We are going to operate from your respective location, but still have branches across the world. And for that, leadership is key. You need to have a vision. Bring in innovation. Now, what is innovation? Can I do the same work in a different manner? Let's take a simple example. Go back to your own last 6 months or 1 year or 2 years. What are the works you have done? Income tax return for your clients. What was the process? Bank statement came. There were some purchases. You had to push them into Tally. From Tally, you had to do a lot of formatting, editing, accounting. And then from that, you had to prepare Excel financials. From Excel financials, you have to drop it into some XYZ software. From that software, you upload it. Finished. Look at this thing. Now, can you bring in some technology throughout this pipeline? Now, you might be thinking, sir, what technology, sir? I'm using Tally technology. I'm using software for filing technology. Great, sir. This is just the first level. But you have not harnessed the full potential of technology. Let me give an example to illustrate it. The same bank statement, if instead of giving in physical form, he gives in an Excel sheet, you can use tools to quickly push it into Tally. The same data, once it's gone into Tally, you can have the format and structure in such a way. You need not prepare Excel financials at all from Tally itself, just prepare the financials. Or you still want to do Excel based financials only, create pivots and columns in such a way from your Excel, you just import the data from Tally to Excel, refresh it, the financials are ready. There are hundreds of methods. The focus is not to tell about these, each of them. I can give you separate videos on all of those. And once you're done with that, what is your next step? You will have to see, how can I take that thing to the next layer and say, for the moment I have got my Excel sheet, bring it into Tally, bring it into financials, and from there, can I put it into my tax software? A simple example. Can I focus on specialization? I will specialize only in GST refunds. I will specialize only in GST litigation, only relating to input tax credit. You can go for it. See if you can develop newer models. The next thing is talent. Do I have, or does my team have the required skills and talent? This is where the organization culture itself, you will have to build in towards learning and educating. An example. Can you introduce a mandatory training for all your staff? Explain. Forget that. Do another very simple exercise. Ask each of your staff to do in a sheet of paper or Excel sheet the last 5 clients which they worked on and minimum 3 mistakes which they did. All of them you ask them to. So 5 clients, 5 into 3, 15. 15 pointers you get. Even if you get, let's say, 10 pointers, and let's say 5 staff you have over. 5 into 10, 50 items. Out of it, let's presume there are some common items. Remove another 10 or 20. 30 points you have. Don't you think that's a very good checklist for you to get started? The moment a staff comes first to train, these are 30 things what not to do. Because if you tell people what not to do, automatically they'll learn what to do. Bring in an attempt to digitize. And that is where you need to learn, unlearn, relearn. And there's a continuous exercise. See, can I bring in technology? Can I bring in analytics into my office? We're going to discuss that today. How can I bring analytics into my office? How can I bring automation into office? One simple example I spoke of. Can I bring robotic process automation? Oh, big names. We'll demystify it. Or there are other things like artificial intelligence. Can I use artificial intelligence in my audit? Correct? There are so many things which are available. We just have to get started. Next is the process. Can I improvise my process using technology? Can I enable consistency? I'm sure in your respective hometowns, you would have that one famous, very famous restaurant, whatever that name it is, whether it's in Karimnagar or where not. You will have that one very famous restaurant, and that will be a typical local restaurant. You get very good dosa, idli, or whatever, biryani or whatnot. That's very good. But that fellow will have only one branch or one location, head office you can call it. He would not have any other entity. Now, given that scenario, why does that fellow not able to scale up? He knew if he scales up, the biggest limitation is the taste which I get in head office, I may not get it in branch. On the contrary, look into companies like McDonald's, KFC. They're there everywhere. Are the chefs very highly skilled expertise? No. What are they doing? They have a process. They have standardization. And that is the difference between our setup and those setup. We are not standardized, therefore scaling up becomes a little difficult. So can I bring in that consistency and continuous improvisation? At the same time, can I upskill my existing process? You thought that you were in the best process you had, but just few years, a few months later, you read of something new and say, can you introduce that? That's where we have to keep our eyes and ears open. The very next important question is, can I build in growth? Can I build in growth? Starting from marketing, business development. Who is the person who's doing business development in our office? Maybe nobody's doing it. So we'll have to start doing it. And this should be what is within the professional ambit. But yes, you can definitely do it. Can I do automation of marketing? A very simple example. You met somebody for the first time. or you got introduced to somebody over LinkedIn, can you send them a simple email saying, hey, hi, this is what I am, this is what we do, how about you? Very simple, just saying that this is what I am. Can you have some templates where you can share? Can you position yourself that you are a specialist in this, specialist in that? And how can you be different compared to the rest? So if you keep this fivefold strategy in your mind, it becomes easier for you as a broader vision saying that, yes, I will become a virtual or a digital firm. Correct? So how do I get started? That's the next biggest question. Just give me a minute. I'm so sorry. Just give me a minute. Apologies. Yeah. How do I get started? What is the steps which I need to follow? First, look into your own office and see what are the lowest hanging fruits. What is the meaning of lowest hanging fruits? Is there something which I can get started right away? Is there something which I can introduce service line? Is there something I can automate it? Whatever is your objective can be different. Somewhere you need to use the technology and see where you can go ahead further. Your client is using Tally. Can I build a dashboard for him in Tally? Can I build an Excel, simple utility for him in using it? Can I introduce a facility, or can I, bring in automation of my data entry, whatever it is? And of course, this you have to choose the smallest and the easiest client. And then add that into your current offerings. When I say current offerings, tell your clients that, hey, this is what I do. Tell them. And you also have to do one or two for free. Okay, offer freebies. You can't get everything, at one shot and get started. So you need to offer some bit of freebies. Once you got that, start selling this new service. And once you start doing that, look out for clientele only for that type of service. That is where you'll get started. Correct? And this is if you're venturing into a newer area. You can do the same thing with your existing clients, or you can do something with the existing process. Remember, when you use technology, either you can focus on growth of revenue or reduction of cost or delivering better results. It's all left up to you how you want to get started with it. And one very important thing is our pricing and positioning and marketing strategies. It's more often than not, unfortunately, we may not have updated, or we may not have changed the way in which we are speaking with our clientele, entering into engagements, etc. And if I want to get a newer set of clientele, you need to make yourself digitally present. You need to start informing people that your knowledge is beyond tax. Of course, not on COVID. There's information overload on that. Can you do something on tax advisory? Can you do something on succession planning? Can you do something on HUF formation? What can you do something little different? And keep yourself equally updated. You need to start doing all of those. And this is where you coming into a virtual setup, or you coming as a individual entities coming together makes sense. Assuming you're not able to do that, okay, existing individual entity, let it be as it is. You form a simple association, nothing on legal, just a small thing, a simple WhatsApp group. Hey boss, I have these type of clients. What is it that you can do new for me? And you tell me what is the type of clients you have. What is it? Don't even give me the names and details. Get started with that and see where you can collaborate. And that is where you can say, okay, fine, I will do one thing. I will focus on income tax updates and I'll give it to you. You focus on GST updates and you give it. We'll just quickly cross-check each other and start sending it to our clients. So much of value addition. Follow the 80-20 rule. 80% of the revenue comes to us in the 20% of time we spend, or the 20% of our clientele. Whereas 20% of revenue comes from 80%, the larger. Correct? So if you thought that salaried income class is a good potential for you to earn income, that is a pure volume game. Correct? If you file one return, maybe 500 to 1,000 rupees. That's all. And today that also is disappearing because of these lot of tax portals and free, whatnot services. Learn from competitors, peers, and juniors. Can we use them better? Can we give them some new interesting task, thereby which will save a whole lot of time? or whatever you are doing regularly, can you give it to them so that some of your pressure is taken off? And they will also find that the work is something little different. Can you innovate and redesign the way you function? Can we keep on updating our services? Whatever we are entering, can we go ahead and keep on updating our services? Take the help of interns, I keep on making mention of it. Follow overpricing. What is the meaning of that? He who comes towards the end, you charge him more. Say, boss, you came late. Obviously, you will have to wait. Or if you want more, I'll charge you. I've done this. It works. It works. The next time he came to me on time, I knew when to position it. Of course, I have to ensure my process is correct. Huh? Otherwise, the client will say that, boss, what are you doing? You're just taking me for a ride. Correct? So what does Uber do? When there's too much of demand, supply is less, the price goes up, right? 2x, 3x. Publish your milestones, small achievements, small articles, small write-ups, whatever is there, go ahead, publish it. Embrace social media, very important. And see how you can use it. Okay, can you send a simple broadcast message to all your clients about some very basic things, very simple things what you can do? An example could be, many of the clientele are at home now, correct? And if all of them are at home, they obviously get some amount of time. So can you educate them on some financial literacy? Saying that, sir, I've started one small series. Whatever is important tax provisions from a business angle, I would like to educate all of you, and therefore I'm just publishing it. It's simple. Just pick a small slide, sir. 4 points you put. What is the meaning of acceptable, or what is the disallowed expenditure? Simple. Section 37, I think, no income tax. It's just disallowed expenditure. So the client says, oh, okay, these are the things which I should not allow, which I should not do it. So the next time what he does, okay, fine, sir, thanks for the information. And what he will do, 100% he'll share it with somebody else who's in the similar business. Somewhere, hey, who is this person who does bus? Was my CA. Hey, introduce me to him, I'll see what he can do. Somewhere something will come. And it is that small initiative which can become massive difference. Obtain feedback. And of course, not for everything, we'll have to have a structured mechanism. Try to get feedback directly or indirectly. Because only that way you will get to know what is the weakness. They will say, sir, what, sir, there is a delay, there is this. Those are all common set of things. So can we do something better? Can we do improvise ourselves? So these are all few things for us to mention or focus or get to that particular thing. And how do I have my digital presence? There are a bunch of these things which you can notice on the screen. Website, correct? How many of them have a website? How many of them have a blog? Go ahead and start doing it. And the website doesn't cost too much today. At 200, 300 rupees per month, you can get a website. Search engine optimization. Optimize your search in such a way that based upon the keywords, your website reasonably comes up. Can you communicate using emails? You're sending a lot of emails. You don't even know whether clients are reading it or not. Can you procure certain tools where you can do mass communication of emails? You can give individual attention. Dear Mr. So-and-so. It is possible. And a few of these tools are also free. For example, MailChimp, up to 2,000 emails you can send per month. Blogging. Blogging is where you start writing articles, sharing, and I spoke of a few. Webinar. Do a small webinar, half an hour of webinar or 30 minutes webinar for your own clients. Saying, sir, I'm inviting you for this webinar. These are the 4 or 5 things which I want to discuss. Succession planning. Or take a simple this thing. There has been a lot of cases of, COVID-based negativity. So make one small checklist or make one small even document saying that how should you manage internal finances of your own earnings? How can you prepare budgets for your family and other things? So very small basic things. See if you can develop a CRM, make use of it. Do some interesting online surveys within your clients. You can do some surveys across clients. You can do some surveys. Google Forms, all these things are available. If required, you want to develop mobile apps, go ahead. And today, all of this is possible. So depending on where you want to make your presence felt, you can go ahead and start. Now, if you look into our typical C office, just to give us an example, there's so many exercises which we can automate it. Payroll, expense management, timesheet, invoicing, data reconciliation, document management, task allocation, rolling out checklist, periodical backup. We still go insert that pen drive and hard disk and take a backup. And that too whenever we remember. Some of us don't even take backup. Can we use a simple cloud-based software which will take care of it? I have to invest, I have to be ready for it. Not everything comes free, but see where you can do it. Can I do a periodical return filing? Can I do a preparation of financial statements? Can I send periodical reminders? The list is endless. I'll just give you an example. Now, let's say you're processing the stipend and staff for your salary for your staff. You have 10 employees. 10 employees, you have to enter each person's name. Of course, you have saved everything in the net banking. You have to go enter amount, pay, OTP comes, you have to enter the OTP. In that time, machine will get stuck up. So by the time you pay one person's salary, it is at least 2 to 3 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes. Let's presume 10 employees are there, 30 minutes gone just for you to pay salary. Can you automate it? Yes. There are softwares available. For example, Razorpay is one company. They are offering free payroll software. You enter all your information. And the beauty of the free payroll software is you make a payment of whatever salary is required to their wallet. One payment, assuming 25,000, 30,000, 1 lakh rupees, whatever. You recharge their wallet and say, boss, all these people make a payment. Over. Within 5 minutes to within 1 hour, 2 hours, they do IMPS, NEFT, whatever is there. Your work is over. Now, employees can submit their expenses, reimbursements, whatnot. There are so many tools available. The only thing is we have not explored it. Timesheet. Timesheet is endless, sir. Many of us don't even have a concept of timesheet. Or if we have it, we introduced it, but for some reason we are having some bottlenecks. Or sometimes the timesheet software is a little expensive. Sir, 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 500 rupees per employee means it becomes expensive for me. For one employee itself, I'm paying for 1 month itself, I'm paying 3,000 to 5,000 rupees. There are again tools available for free. Go ahead, just ask them to fill it up and submit it. Or you yourself create one simple Excel sheet. Google Sheets you start using. Ask them to enter it. Or create one Google, what is that name? Google Forms. Ask them to enter this period, this client they work, what is the description over. There are lots which we can actually do. The software which I mentioned for payroll was Razorpay, R-A-Z-O-R-P-A, Razorpay X. I think it's there in one of the slides. I think it will come. I'm just giving one example. Zoho payroll is also for free, for at least for some minimal number of users. Okay. Now this Razorpay payroll, you can do some interesting things also. You can pay even your Provident Fund, ESI, all of those. And you need not wait, go to that portal, set up everything and do it. Click off a button, everything you can do. Correct? So you can imagine how much quickly things can actually transition. Let's take this conversation a little further. So now that we understood, a strategy, a thought process, etc. So we mentally know if I have to become virtual, these are all the things I need to do. This is where I need to head. But how do I enhance my productivity in my office? So for which, let me speak about a few tools, methods, approaches. Now, if you typically see in our office, what does we do? We do accounting. We do some bit of audit. We do some bit of compliance, ROC, income tax, TDS, whatnot. We do a lot of advisory, again depends. And overall, we do some bit of office management. What is office management? Giving the invoices, raising these things, a lot of circus around it. Now, can we see if we can automate all of this? Of course, it's not that, okay, I did something like, abracadabra or a G-Boomba and said, boss, sab kuch is automated. No, that's not what we're talking about. It's a step-by-step process. But can I start somewhere? The first obvious question is accounting. How do I automate accounting? Can we bring in a standardized chart of accounts for all our clients? What is standardized chart of accounts? All clients, the names of ledger is the same. And below the main ledger, sub-ledgers, you decide what you want. A simple example. Indirect expenses, you have already written these are the 25 or 30 expenses which will be there. And indirect expenses more or less standardized. Beyond that, you will not have anything. Rates and taxes, rent, staff welfare, entertainment expense. So you have fairly standardized. Maybe 1 or 2 exceptions could be there that you put it under miscellaneous expense and categorize. Now, what is this going to do? This will ensure, irrespective of whatever happens, your clients follow a consistent standard of chart of accounts, maybe 10 to 20% deviation. Then what is the next advantage of that? The advantage of that is you can use a program or a software which can combine the tally, whatever data is there, to push it into Excel quickly. You can write certain scripts through which you can actually do it much faster. And a whole lot of these things are possible. Just the question that we should be in a position to go ahead and start it. Standardization of chart accounts. Second, macros. Can I build in macros? Or can I get in touch with people who can build macros? Now, can they, what is a macro? Something which automates a repetitive task. For example, GST 2A, I download it in various months. Can I combine all of them and put it into one sheet? Possible. So many tools are available. Or, can I come, this ROC work which we do, let me restrict it to automation of accounting itself. There we'll discuss that. In terms of accounting, the bank statement comes in different format. It comes in PDF. I'm not able to convert it in Excel. I put my bank data in so many softwares, convert it. Then in Excel itself, there's an option. You have an option called import PDF, correct? Especially if you're using Office 2016 and above, I think, or Office 365. I use Office 365, so for me it's always available. OCR recognition, this is something which has always been under discussion. Where you can convert the data from a image form to a textual form. It may have some success, it may have some failure. Or can you use certain softwares which are having APIs inbuilt? Example could be automatic linkage with GST. For instance, Zoho Books, ClearTax, Oppo Tax, all these fellows have some sort of a GST enabled facility where you can pull the data automatically. Correct. You also have some income tax software which can pull the 26 AS data, but it can only restrict it to 26 AS. But today 26 AS has got so much more information. Like it has some information on, I think, shares bought and sold beyond a particular threshold, credit card payments and whatnot. So what are a few disrupting factors which are bringing in the change? A, cloud. B is contextual integration. An example could be, can I integrate with application A, application B? Can I go ahead and integrate with my bank account such that I make a payment entry in my books, the money will get reduced from my bank account and it will go to the vendor. So that's called contextual integration. Connected banking, real time I'm connected. OCR, AI, ML, can I use voice interface? There are a few tools available, you can go give it a try. Automation. Next, this is one personal favorite tool of mine. It's called E2TallySoft. And you can just visit their website. You have a lot of videos on this. How is it that I can enter Excel into Tally? I have a data in Excel, a simple software which will convert it into a format. And you just click a button, enter, it'll upload. Simple. So this is what typically I do. I get a bank statement. I write one remarks column, which is the ledger. And writing that anybody can do. If we are working from home, I put that sheet into Google Sheet. I give that access to that staff. And the second sheet, I put these are all the lists of ledgers. You just compare that and type the name of ledger. The moment he types the name of ledger, I'll take that sheet or I'll give to the senior, validate it once, and upload it over data entry. It may not be so easy as I am telling you, but definitely achievable, certainly achievable. Correct. So this will export a typical, data which is in your Excel sheet. It will import it to Tally. How much time are you saving? Huge. Can it import only Excel format? It depends on what is the format you have. You have a specific format. This is what you want to structure it. Go ahead, define your own format and import it. So much is the flexibility which is available. For example, payroll you're getting from one software. You want to enter in Tally. Make a format, send it and upload. GST 2A, you want to do an automatic entry. Go ahead, download GST 2A, keep it in a format, remove a few columns and modify. Go ahead, push it. So that's basically what this is capable of doing. This, as I said, for want of time, I will not be able to show you a live demo. I'll give you a few video links which you can look into. The second is cloud-based accounting tools such as Zoho Books. I'm just giving Zoho Books for two reasons. A, they are a Make in India product. And B, it is, from a product and a feature perspective, it is very, very rich. And they also have a free version available. For those of you who are GST registered up to a particular revenue threshold, they have some free versions. What is possible typically? You can enable it with payment gateways, thereby customer can get paid much more faster. Popular online payment gateways, you can send automatic reminder, you can do follow-ups. You can get paid faster, much quicker. Okay, you can send your reminders, whatnot. And you can also track follow-ups Define the follow-up on after once in 15 days, once in 30 days. You can give a customer portal itself, give the access to customer, whatever you want to let you do. Or interact with customers by giving quotations, invoices, whatever comments are there, and sort of get instant reviews if you want to. You can streamline purchase and payables. I'm not sure how many of them raise a purchase order, correct, other than these large companies. You can use multi-templates which are available. You can also automate recurring expenses and bills. You know that these are bills which will keep on occurring. So go ahead and give it the date. Peak late lacquer, these are based on narration. You can write a rule. Okay, if this narration is there, always pass it in this ledger. You just have to pass it. You submit it. Every time you run the rule, it will go and sit there. You just have to confirm it. You can manage your inventory starting from your stock, your FIFO, all of this is possible. You also have an inventory add-on which can do a lot more things in addition to your basic tab. I spoke of connected banking. This is how the feeds will appear. I'm just giving one illustration. There are hundreds of softwares available for cloud-based accounting, but just giving you a thought process and perspective. So the moment you look into this is as good as your bank statement. Click on this, go ahead and pass the entry. All of them will be categorized as uncategorized until you go ahead and categorize. And the focus of data entry itself may significantly reduce. So you can fetch feeds from a variety of banks directly into your system. Not to forget your GST returns, the newer GST returns, whatever formats are there. All of these can be taken care of here. And even if you have made the tax payment entry, the journal entry for that also can get pushed. So you're getting some idea in terms of where we are heading to in future. What is it that are the tools which we can actually get? And not to forget, there are a host of these interesting things which you can do. Customization and automation. What are they? Customize based on your requirements. You want to customize a field, a particular rate, a column, a particular information on the invoice, a particular information like capturing data, like a cost center. You can do that. You can customize fields, views, status, all of those. Or you can automate by bringing workflow. Okay, every time entry is passed by these following categories, you park it here, don't pass the entry, I will review and go ahead and pass it. Or you give the access to your staff and he basically passes all these entries. Only after you approve, go ahead and push it. Choice is yours. Accounting can be done anytime, anywhere, thanks to this technology. So even if your staff is not having a laptop to work from home, use a smartphone and get started. A host of integrations. This is just to give you one example of a perspective. Second is a concept of RPA, robotic process automation. What will we do in robotic process automation? In simple language, it is nothing but a macro. What does a macro do? It has a series of steps within Excel. This is beyond Excel, beyond multiple applications. Take something from email, download it. The moment you have downloaded, push that thing into what I call the accounting software. From accounting software, do some bit of formatting, export it to Excel. Then automatically send a mail to client. All these series of steps, the RPA can do. So the sole purpose of automation is to create an individual with almost zero programming experience. He can go ahead and do it. Microsoft Power Automate. How many of them are aware? I'm not sure. Go ahead, see if you can download it. Many of them are free. It will talk about you want to send bulk emails to everybody. They have a small automation software. Use that, send it. You want to, download something or, transfer from one file to another, one email to another. So there are a host of things which are possible. Just go ahead and visit them. I'll give you one simple use case, okay, in the 1 or 2 slides from now. So there's RPA on the top. You have softwares like Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, UiPath. These are fairly large companies. But Microsoft Power Automate, as I told you, is free as of now. Integrated platform, and of course, you have the fundamental automation. So you have this Oracle, SAP, Tally. On the topmost, you have the RPA layer. Let me give you an example so that you're able to get this understanding of RPA better. And this is an RPA which is working on Tally. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I just started playing the video or other process. Tally opens. You have accounting vouchers. This is the Excel sheet with all the entries. There is a process flow which is written. I have everything kept ready. Now I go click on the start button. Let's see what happens. Automatically all the entries will start getting passed. Of course, here I've just chosen suspense account just for a simpler example or understanding, but you will be able to get a fair bit of progress. Do you notice the difference? It is like as though you are only passing the entry, but the software is actually passing it. This is where a bot. And it gives a small message saying, hey, I've completed everything. So that's, my dear friends, is a simple example of how things actually transition or how things actually move. Correct? So this is a simple example of how a software, it can save a whole lot of time. But let me tell you, this has its own pros and cons. This cannot, this has to be running in a live environment, which means what? You cannot say that let this run in the background. So one laptop you cannot use it, or one system in your office you cannot use if this is running. Which is as good as somebody else doing it. But what you can do, run this program during lunch break, run it during tea breaks, run it during your late evening hours. And by end of the day or after some time it will be done. So you save so much amount of time in all this. Now the same thing, that software which I spoke of earlier also does, E2Tally as an example. What does it do? You have everything in an Excel sheet, but that they do something smart. You click a button, it takes 15 minutes, uploads all the entries. It doesn't do entry by entry, all entries at one shot. How? Excel, it has Tally has a feature called import. Correct? I'm just giving you an example of these perspectives. The second, how can I bring in auditing automation? Can I bring in analytics into my audit? Can I bring in some more interesting insights into my audit? And of course, the future is bringing robotics, artificial intelligence, all those things. Can I bring them into that? Can I bring them into risk assessment? Can I bring them into audit planning? Can I bring them into design effectiveness? Can I use some beautiful visualization tools? Correct? So a lot of things are possible. And let me give you one example. Okay. Of course, this is just a huge list of tools. This presentation will be shared with you in which case. So the list of tools is a simple example for you to get started. But I feel the best tool is Excel. Because whatever you do, the biggest of the tools, the final output comes in Excel. So can we do something in Excel? Okay. Let me see if I can show you some bit of simple demo so that you get some thought process. One more time demo of RPA. Okay, I will just try to show that. Is it okay if I do it towards the end, sir? Because I will finish what I had planned and then I will show you the demo of RPA. Okay. Okay, here it is. Let me know if you're able to see this Excel sheet. Simple Excel sheet. Right? Or rather, let me open a new Excel sheet. You will get some more clarity. And I'm sharing this screen. Okay. Let me show you some sample data. So I've got some data. I'm just copy pasting it here. You notice that I've copy pasted some data here. Now, the moment data comes like this, will you be in a position to analyze? The answer is no. So what do we do? You do one very famous thing called text to columns. So you have two options. If you choose fixed width, it presumes that there's a fixed width. and it splits it into text. Now you have another set of column. You need to split this. So for this, what will you do? You will go ahead, again choose text to columns, choose delimited based on space, and therefore you will get it. Now what we do not know is we can use artificial intelligence for this. AI we can use in Excel, and that is called as analysis tab here. Notice here, there's some tab called analysis. Now let's see what I'm going to do here. Oops, sorry. I think accidentally I've sorted the data. Anyways, so what I'm doing here is, first I want to split the data into some useful text. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to type P unit. Is that not the first word? What I'm going to do here, just see very carefully, I just type the word 5. Automatically everything it gets sorted out and it gives me the results. And this is the power of Excel. In Excel, I'm not sure how many of them have used it. This is called flash fill. I didn't do anything, I just typed that word. I hope you're able to notice my screen. Yeah, I just typed that word and everything is done. Second, I want to take the date 24 March 2020, 15 August 2020. All that I do is Control E shortcut. All my dates are here. Then I type 0.384, 1.201, and again Control. Over. How many other rows are there? How many other data sets are there? With a click of a button, it will do all this, splitting of text or converting text, multiplication, whatever analysis you want, you will be able to do it. Okay, I've written one detailed article on Excel flash fill and other things. You can probably reach out to me, or you can refer to LinkedIn. I would have had a lot of content or publication, or you can reach out to me in person. I will share you a link, or I'll share it with the organizers, where I have a lot of content available. Here the focus is more of empowering your mindset. Now this column is no longer relevant for me. What do? I put in unit name, I put the date, and I put consumption. Now what is the first thing which we do the moment we get Excel data? We will put table, rows, columns, whatnot. Lot of circus we will. Instead of doing all these things, this time I'm going to do something different. What am I going to do? I click on Home tab and I tell, hey Excel, can you please analyze this data for me and give? That's all. Look at this, it is analyzed and given me. What is it? It gives me a simple summary which says consumption based on date. All that I have to do is insert pivot table, it will automatically. So this is the entire year, this is the entire consumption. No sir, I didn't like this. Right click this, just say group, or go click on pivot table. You have an option called group selection. You can make groups out of this. Okay. Or forget this, you don't like it, go to the next one. Look at this, there is a pattern analysis. Now, what is this pattern analysis? If you look very carefully, do you notice this? What is this? Simple chart. It is indicating a pattern. Every few days it will increase and come down. Of course, now graphs like this, if you see the moment you think, oh yeah, this COVID chart and whatnot today, thanks to so much of things which has been discussed on the news media. But now if you are an auditor, now you know which is the high risk months, which is the low risk months, where you need to focus more, where you need to focus less. Correct? Now one more type of interesting analysis. Let's see if I can insert a chart over here. Based on frequency of consumption, very, very unique analysis. What does this do? How many of them have consumed between 0.48 to 0.448? How many of them between 0.448 to 0.848? So there is so much of analysis which is possible in a click of a button. And all of this, my dear friends, I have not done anything. I've asked the data to analyze also. I can in fact write queries about the data. This is called conversational analytics. Now this is where you can start using Excel itself to such a high extent. For example, show total consumption based on date. See, it gives me this. Based on date, it is giving me this. Okay, I don't like this. Remove this. Let's go back. Show the date where unit 10. So which are all the dates where unit is equal to 10 units. So these are all the dates where unit 10 has been consumed. Or don't like this. Give me the percentage of total consumption for each unit. Simple. That means you are able to ask your own questions and basic queries, which is automatically getting generated. And with this, we're able to do much faster analysis. Does it make sense for us to invest in technology? The answer is yes. Okay. Let's quickly move on. There are a couple of tools which you can use for audit purposes, CAT tools we call it. There's one more example called as an ECAT. The other is an example called TCAT. Let me show you a couple of just a sort of a trailer so that you get an idea about it. I'm just opening a fresh sheet. Okay, let me minimize my video here for the time being. And I go to ECAT, just say test data. So one of the very simple exercise which we did, if I have a lot of sales, let us say, or if I have sales transaction. Now I want to know if this data was given to you. You want to basically analyze, okay, this is the population, this is the issue. Can I group them or can I do some bit of exercise or analysis? So what you do is, if you go to this ECAT software, which is what I've been using, I say, boss, give me all cases before even I do anything. Just give me a summary, column statistics. Just give me a column statistics. And it will ask me what type of column statistics do you want. Do you want a numeric statistics, date statistics, character statistics? Let's say numeric for the time being. I say give me all numeric statistics. Just say okay. I've just done one very simple exercise. Just 2 functions I've done. Clicked a button there, clicked all of them here. Now look at this beautiful report which is given in a click of a button. It says, from a numeric field, these are all my statistics. Average of positive records, there's no negative records, average of all records. Number of records, look at this, invoice number 6398, whereas sales is only 6396, so 2 fields are blank. Total number of records 6400, whereas here there are 2 fields which is blank, here there are 4 fields which is blank. And best is double click this, you will get to know which is what. So gone are the days where you have to sit and do all your audit tests. You just write some programs or use these softwares, you can get it done. Click of a button. Number of sales with inconsistent formula, so is null, so we need not bother. Right? Now imagine I want this into Excel, just save it, Excel view. It is saved, your work paper is ready. When people ask about what is your work you have performed, you have documentation. So let's go to one more example just to show you how differently we can use it. And I have a bunch of these tools. I can go on hours for example, but I'm just, in the interest of time, I'm just restricting it. So let's say statistics. If I just pick up date statistics, let's say just select all this date statistics and select, give me all these reports. And if I just click a button, in a few seconds, all this information is converted based on date statistics and it gives me. Let's see what the results are. It says average positive, all this information is there. Look into date. Total 6,400 records. The first period is 1st of April. The last period is 30th March. So your cutoff procedures is over. Done. Next, January month wise you have transactions. So which month has the highest transaction, May, go do analysis. Then you generally Sunday the business is closed, but why Sunday with there are so many transactions, or Saturday there's transactions. Do your analysis. Now click of a button, all of this are possible, my dear friends. All that we have to do is invest some time in upskill ourselves. Right? So let me quickly head back to this thing. There's another tool which is Tally based. You can pull data from Tally. You can do a lot of interesting analysis. For example, you can pull up and say which are all the ledgers in Tally which have not been used in a particular year. Which are the ledgers which have opening balances which are continuing as it is, which are the balances which have debit and credit but no opening balance or closing balance, so which has got rounded off. So crazy number of rules it can continuously apply as long as you have digital data. Next, can I bring in compliance automation? Repeat, can I bring in automation in the domain of compliance? So what am I going to do? I want to store all my tasks. I want to create a library. I want to assign these tasks to some set of my friends or my staff. I want to monitor them on a regular basis, or I need to retrieve them. Right? So you can have softwares which can create a workflow. What do these softwares do? You can create, these are all the configuration. This is what is my requirement. Check A, B, C, D. Once that is done, you get a report saying, okay, this client, all this is over. I'll give you a simple example. On 20th of the month, do we know which are all the GST filings is still pending at 12 o'clock in the afternoon? Little difficult, correct? Excuse me. Sorry, it was a call which I couldn't avoid. Apologies for it. Yeah, simple workflow as I told. Next is real-time dashboard. Can I build in a real-time dashboard? Give a graphical view presentation. Can I bring in reminders and alerts? You know, a whole lot of things which we can do. Can I bring in some bit of compliance? You know, whatever regulations are there, renewals. One of the often things which we forget is digital signature renewal. And we normally remember on the 29th or 30th of the month, or on the return filing date, that DSC is expired. Correct. And today DSC cannot be done so very quickly also. There's so much of procedure. So just giving examples on those lines. Now let's look into non-audit automation, what is possible. You can build in a lot of analytics based services. I spoke of that in the previous section. You can do a lot of due diligences, M&A, investigation, special audit. So a range of services is what we provide. For example, this is one company called Veratech. Now, if you want any ROC search report, it uses artificial intelligence, gets everything formatted. I think they have to pay around 3,000 to 4,000 rupees. It will do everything for you and give it to you from the ROC website. All that you have to do is further improvise it and take it. Now, there's another company which I came across called Insta Financials. Now, what these guys can do, they have a lot of data about a company. You choose a company, it will go download everything and it'll give you a very, very nice report. And there's one report which we recently got for one of our clients. It gives you for last 3 or 4 years all the analysis. Look at this. And they have some report called legal report, which will go search with all Supreme Court, High Court, whether these cases are there. Okay, it goes search with PFESA compliances and gives me a report. So like this, there are so many tools available. The question is only how do we get started? Next is how can I use Power BI for giving analytic dashboards? You know, get the data from Excel or Tally to Excel and build a layer of Power BI. Just to show you this, how a Power BI dashboard looks like, receivable dashboard. You know, on one side you have on the top mode, you have all the receivables, dates, correct? You have on the other side aging analysis, receivable value, receivable, you know, price. Double click any of the details, you can go deep. Don't want, come backwards. Correct? So you have all these interesting reports which are available. Click of a button, you get all of these things. Branch 1, branch 2, branch 3. Correct? Don't want, go back. Want something, just show as table. Correct? You want aging analysis, here it is. Once you get all this information, take it further, you know, bring it down, do whatever you feel like. The options are open. And you have obviously a reset button which can do it. This can also be done on a mobile phone. You know, a click of a button, you choose whatever you want, you can get it done. Sorry. So why don't you think of delivering this to your client and giving an automation like this? Right? So newer opportunities will definitely keep coming in. Last but not the least is your office management. Right? You can bring in a host of these features like this. Bring in GPS-based attendance, job tracking, task ID management, time tracking, timesheet, you know, checklist, automated upcoming jobs, multi-currency invoicing, client access, document manager. Right? You have tools like Clockify which can track your timesheet. To some extent, they're free. Just a few examples to illustrate. And if you're working from remote, there are a suite of software which are available. For example, Zoho Remotely. And I'm talking about most of these tools which we are using in our office, so that I give you a personal recommendation or a personal hands-on thought process. We have these softwares called Click, Meeting, all these things are for conversation. So in our Click is all where all our office conversations take place every morning, every evening, every afternoon, any conversation which goes there. We have a groups created so that WhatsApp and this is not cluttered. Otherwise, what we do, we clutter WhatsApp with everything. Correct? For storage of data, we use OneDrive. For tracking tasks, we use Sprints. For remote screen sharing, we use Assist Lens. For those of them who do not have Excel, PowerPoint, we use Writer, Sheet, and Show. So like this depends on how you want, you can actually customize it and go ahead. So now that I've got it, what is it that I need to get started? And this is where your digital capability maturity model becomes very important. Do I have a model based on which I can assess my digital maturity? Correct. So first and foremost, can I bring in, some level of maturity in my operations? What is it that I'm lacking? What is it that I can do? Correct. So what is the benchmark? And this is where your DCMM becomes a very good tool for you to go ahead and do it. It's available on the institute website or learning portal, however you want it. Once you're done with it, plan your initiatives. Convert the initiatives into steps, actions. Maybe quarterly you have to do something, annually you have to do something, monthly you have to do something. Great. Then identify the resources and the execution plan. Can you get involved as a proprietor partner? Or can you employ one senior staff who will do it and you will supervise? Can you define goals? Then assess the progress and revalidate this on a regular basis. You can also check whether as a company have a matured, or is it that something I have to continuously keep on doing it? And maybe you can do a peer review, ask your friend to come and review a process. You go to your friend's office and review a process, do some external consulting. These are all learning exercises through which you actually are able to mature. Simple example, integration of any system process. Identify the objective. GST reconciliation, identify duplicate payments, compare, select transactions over 2 periods. So whatever is your original objective. Then what do we do? Obtain the data, tally, payroll software, GST. Then clean it, get it into a format or the shape you want. Profile the data, analyze the data, and then you start reporting. So this is typically a simple example where you can use any sort of a solution or a technology-based solution to get started. So what am I trying to say? Disruption creates a lot of opportunities. This disruption today is a huge opportunity for us to grow. Perhaps in future, people will say, hey, one robot does my bookkeeping. That's the reality. We should be ready for it. Correct? And we need to work out newer business models. I know a friend of mine, a CA, he says that, today we charge the client based on the number of accounting entries. Okay. If you have 500 accounting entries, there's a price. Per entry they charge. Of course, the larger it is, the price per unit keeps on coming down. And they're able to use some technologies to do that. So what is our future profession going to be? Our future profession is going to change. Clients will be beyond geographies. The clients will look that, okay, you should be one point of contact for all my problems. The technology-driven solutions will increase and expect clients not to be loyal. They'll keep hopping. But from our angle, what are the services we can render? We have to move to advisory from compliance. We can probably bundle services to the client and offer. That's where your integration and your becoming layering or becoming multi-firms, becoming one becomes important. You can focus on non-traditional services, information technology audit, like Mr. Dayanivas was making mention. We're going to talk about a future which is digital workplace. What is digital? Physical plus digital. Correct? And we're talking about talent, a multidisciplinary talent, risk-taking ability, limited loyalty. You need to start managing youngsters, millennials. So a lot of things are going to change. Correct? At the same time, a lot of opportunities are going to come up. We might have advanced work from home solutions, especially for women. It may probably be a boon, especially because if they're, having a kid and whatnot. Automation of accounting and compliance could be possible. Remote audit. So can you see if you can take up opportunities for doing audit anywhere in the world sitting at home? It is possible. Correct? You may have to increase your engagements on non-audit or non-IT related engagements. Get started with it. So fee based on value added and not time spent. These are few critical things. But on a futuristic basis, what is going to happen? You're going to have more proactive alerts. You're going to provide more analytic based services. AI will very soon become a service provider. And we as a profession will have to move from accounting and we'll have to be more focused on value addition. Why? Bots may do bookkeeping. And we're talking about advanced technologies such as blockchain coming into the picture. Of course, it's a long time, but we have to start doing the baby step. And that baby step is digitization of our firm so that we are able to get through the journey of the virtual firm. How do I gear up for the challenge? Identify the need, whatever automation, whatever technology, whatever new services are, identify the need. Do explore, research. I spoke about a few tools as an example. Don't take this only as the list of tools. There are hundreds of tools. Test it so that you get a reasonable comfort and develop a sort of a procedure. Okay, this is what I need to do. This is how I have to go about. And once it is done, measure the results. Okay, this has brought some savings. I will go ahead and do it for a good number of clients. Start small, but think big. So always keep on telling the world's biggest problems are the world's biggest opportunities. What are my few concluding thoughts? Technology is the language in which business can facilitate, provide products and services. CAs today are knowledge workers, and you need to empower businesses to run by providing a lot of these compliance consulting services. By using the right technology platform, you can actually get virtual and you'll be able to achieve that. Okay, a few recommended reading because of this technology domain being a little relatively new. There's one very nice book which I recommend. It's called Future of Profession. They speak about how professional autonomy is losing, how AI is changing things, how tax filing is becoming no longer a lucrative profession, how standardization of works, how traditional jobs are disappearing. A good book, especially when you're free during this lockdown days, you can pick it up. And this is a recent book which I co-authored rather, Strategic Roadmap for CA Firms to Operate as Virtual Firms. It's available in CCBMP website, Committee for Small and Medium Practitioners. You can go pick up from their website. You will be able to get this. Okay, and not to forget Digital Capability Maturity Model, DCMM 2.0. I had also had the opportunity to co-author this, and this book has become, it's also got the international recognition from International Federation of Accountants and whatnot. So this is also an interesting guide for you to actually pick up and get started. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time, but just give one slide on the overview of DCMM. It talks about level of automation of firms. It has basically 4 sections. Section A, B, C, D. A talks about level of automation of the firm's process. B talks about what are the internal controls and what are the resources, pools, talent which is available in your office. C talks about discipline specific categorization. How can you bring in technology in audit, taxes, accounting, etc. And D talks about how you can start using emerging technologies. It's a good checklist. Go ahead and get started. It'll at least become a starting point for you to mature your digitization. Yeah, and this is one something which I really liked, and this is one of my personal favorite. This is called Future of Audit. It was an EY report. They said that as an auditor in the future, you need to have these 5 pillars: analytical pillar, personal skills pillar, mindset pillar, accounting and domain expert pillar, which we always have, understanding of disrupting technologies, which is towards the end. Correct? So analytics can be ERPs, data visualization, how do you model, how do you get the text, what are the auditing softwares? So some bit of that. Personal skills are all more to do with managerial skills, personal ability, agility, resilience, client communication, whatnot. Mindset, if you remember, I spoke about in the first slide itself. How do I get started with that? And last is understanding these disruption technologies, which we spoke of. So that's basically what I wanted to cover, my dear friends. This is a quick overview about us. We are Ken & Co, and we are a firm based out of Bangalore. Predominantly, we do a lot of things on technology, advisory, and governance. That's where over the last few years, I've been able to have the opportunity to do something new and different. You can always follow us on LinkedIn or YouTube. We're also there on Telegram. I keep sharing at least weekly once or twice some regular technology-based updates, anything new, anything on how it can improvise your office, any small update on how Excel can be used, how Tally can be used and whatnot. Okay. On that note, before I forget, some people keep on asking me, sir, in technology, what all can we do? There's just one sample, a small part of our menu card of our firm where we can do so many things: IT governance, IT assurance, data analytics, advisory on IoT, blockchain, cyber security, IT consulting, ERM, forensic audit, ISO, third-party audits such as SOC assessment, trainings. The list is endless. So again, the question is, are we interested to move a little different, and are we able to get the required client? Thank you so much for being a very, very patient audience. I've tried to give you the gist in the span of an hour and a half. You can always look into my YouTube channel. There are hundreds of videos where I've spoken on various things, including tools, including automation. Sector specific, I've spoken on various things. Feel free to go pick up whatever you choose like and probably listen to it. All right. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you to the chairman, and over to you for Q&A. I see Narayan Rao sir raising the hand. I don't know how your process is, sir. Do you unmute them or?
Yes, sir. I'm unmuting, sir.
Okay, please, sir. Go ahead. Thank you. Yes, sir. Please go
Hello,
ahead, sir.
sir.
Narayan Rao, sir. Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yes, sir. Please tell me, sir.
This is P.V. Narayan Rao, past chairman, Warangal branch, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have a doubt whether
Yes, sir.
there is any agency which can implement this automation process in our office, sir. Our office consists of 50 staff.
Sir, there is no agency as such, sir, but it depends on what tool you're looking into. Those tools or service providers have a few things which they can do. For instance, if you're looking at, a tool service providers such as, that Zoho, one of them, they to some extent hold you and they do it. Or there are also some people who are implementers. There are some agencies who are available depending upon a specific function, whatever you're choosing.
Can you share some implementers?
I will share
details?
those. Yeah, you can tell
And
me what
one
your
more-
requirement is. I will share it based on that.
Actually, in our office, we are using Computex for working software on direct tax and indirect tax. And for practice management, we are using CCH software.
Okay, sir.
The only issue is integration of both is not possible. Huh?
Integration
Can it
of
be
both
done?
is not possible, sir, because the both of them are totally different verticals.
Okay.
Because one is a tax software completely focused on tax. Unless the tax fellow builds one layer of clientele and other things, it is not possible.
Okay.
I mean, it
Why?
is possible.
Because
You have to build a customized software for you.
okay. Because building in both the softwares is becoming a difficult task.
I get your point, sir. Yes, that is where some bit of process change you will have to probably bring in. See, wherever technology is not able to solve a problem, process will have to solve the problem.
Okay. For that consultancy, anybody can offer us, sir? Generally,
You can message me in person, sir. I will see what we can help you out with.
kindly share your contact details.
I will share it with the organizers, sir. You can pick it up from there.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you. Mr. Suhas, you would want to share your thoughts?
Yes, sir. Hello. Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Hi,
Sir. Actually, while the session was very informative and we all agree that the automation is necessary and it is inevitable eventually, but I don't see that we have learned anything about the agenda. The agenda was actually how to run a CA firm virtually, but especially in this COVID time, how to run my office without actually going to the office was actually I had in mind before entering this meeting. But I don't
no.
see...
Let me clarify that. So I have not spoken. One of the topics which I've spoken is only on remote working and other things. If you want something more retail guidance on remote working, I've spoken on various sessions. I will give you those links because virtual firm is slightly beyond a remote work.
Yeah, sure, sir. I would actually I'd actually be happy to look at those links. But
definitely, sir. You can just drop me a message in person. I will share you those places.
Yeah.
So any questions? They can raise their hands. I think almost clear, sir. We'll have a nice, nice speech, a nice deliberations on the digital accounting, remote audit, virtual CA form in technology today. So I request CA Aditya Garu, Chairman of Warangal branch, to give his closing remarks. Over to Aditya Garu.
Good evening. Mr. Narasimhan Garu, I have gone through your profile. It needs another 1 hour time to explain about your profile. The core abbreviations, all those things.
Yeah.
So we need to Google all those wordings in the what I mentioned in your profile. So Harikrishnan Garu, small change.
Yeah.
Our Karimnagar branch task force member Swati Garu is ready with the vote of thanks. She
We'll
will propose the vote of thanks.
Yeah, we'll recognize the presence of the easier All India second ranked CA Naveen Nutala is present, I think.
Naveen Garu, is he available?
CA Naveen Garu, All India second ranker from Karimnagar branch.
Sir. I'm available.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Please open your video.
Yeah, please.
I would like to repeat once again, Naveen Garu hails from Karimnagar, Raikal town of Karimnagar district. He secured All India second rank in this January 2021 attempt. CA final old syllabus. Naveen Garu, welcome and hearty congratulations from our team, Karimnagar and Warangal branches. Would you like to share any of your experiences or brief experience, brief note?
Please share your happiness. Please share
Happiness
your
also.
happiness. You are as a, yeah. Is a proud to you're from our Telangana state, Karimnagar district. Please share.
Sure,
Yes.
Hello all. Good evening. This is Naveen, and I would like to thank Chairman of Karimnagar Branch Aditya Garu for giving this wonderful opportunity to introduce myself. I'm elated to be part of this CF fraternity, and I would like to thank ICI, my parents and friends for their support to become member of this reputed institute. To begin with my background and how I choose to become CA. Basically, I was from MPC background, and the thought of becoming chartered accountant emerged post-intermediate when there was so much push for engineers, and I want to be different from many of my friends from my stream. Being from an agricultural household, I didn't have someone to guide me throughout my career, and it was difficult for me to choose in making an informed choices. And today, I was very happy that I made a correct decision in my life by choosing a CA as a career. Having done my CPT and IPCC from Hyderabad, I have joined J.S. Sundaram & Co. Chartered Accountants firm based out in Hyderabad, and I had quite a good of exposure in audit, taxation, due diligence, as well as VCFO services. Articleship is something which inculcated responsibility and accountability for me, and it changed a lot. It changed as a person for me, and I didn't expect that I would secure a rank, and extremely happy that I got a rank. For all the students out there, I would like to tell: believe in yourself and be committed to the things you do. That will eventually lead to success. That's it. And I would thanks to everyone for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Now I request CS Swati Sri, task force member of Karimnagar branch, to give the for the vote of thanks. Thank you.
A very good evening to everyone here.
Please enable your video.
Yes, it is, sir. Harikrishna Garu.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Please carry.
A very good evening to everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to give a vote of thanks to this event and present over all the members and the dignitaries here. I would like to thank the chief guest of this session, CA Dayanivash Sharma Garu, Central Counseling Member of ICAI. I would also thank the chief guest of honor, Naresh Chandra Gilli Garu, SICASA Chairman of SARC, ex officio Karimnagar. I also thank Jengal Rao Reddy Garu, Regional Counseling Member and ex officio Warangal. And I personally thank for conducting this combo of Warangal and Karimnagar members session, to Ravi Kumar, Chairman of Warangal branch, and Aditya Garu, the Chairman of Karimnagar branch, and also the respected secretaries of the branches. And especially thank the Narasimhan Englovan Garu by giving this wonderful speech on the very needed topic of the hour, and giving us a very good presentation of classified points and his explanations and giving the apt illustrations to make us understand very usefully. And I thank everyone presenting here and attending the session, making it very much lively. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. We'll end of the session today. We'll continue and we'll continue with both the partnership combination of the Warangal branch and Karimnagar branch in future. Certainly, we will be coordinating both the branches and we conduct more and more CPE meets together. Thank you, one and all. Those the members joined. I heartily from my bottom of the heart, all the members, management committee members, today's chief guest, Dayanivash Sharma Garu, and guest of honors, Chengal Reddy Garu and Naresh Chandra Jelly Garu, and today's chairman, both the chairmen coordinating with all together, and the highest members is 78 members we are joined, 80 members almost touched. We will be continuing to conduct all the CP seminars in future also. Thank you one and all. We'll conclude.
Thank you, Hari Krishna Garu. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Good day.
Okay, thank you, sir.